Good morning, you sexy motherfuckers. Morning, guys. It's Sunday. I'm on my own today. Got some work to do on this. It's something I've been waiting to do. I've been looking forward to it, kind of been dreading it at the same time. Bit of a mixture of everything, but I'm seeing to this today. The plan, and I'm not going to talk about it for too long. I basically just want to get straight into it because I really want to try and get this knocked out in the day. As a lot of you have probably seen in the videos, if you give it a little bit of a yes, it's a bit floppy. You ever seen that bit where Homer like slaps his belly?
Woohoo! Look at that blubber fly!
Yeah, that's basically like the chassis mount equivalent of that. What I'm gonna do today is go ahead, we're gonna take these back off again. I'm going to look at welding and cross braces. Initially I was thinking that I'd go from the bottom, see the bottom corner, kind of up to here, and then again the same, but it's not really gonna work with trying to mount the bumper, and obviously you've got these wing stands on it now as well, and it would sort of get in the way of those. So I do need to work this one out and kind of try and figure out how I'm gonna play this. But before I can do any of that, I need to get them off the car anyways. So let's go ahead and remove them. That's exactly why you need two people. In future, another person to help me do that would be lovely. We're gonna grab these now, we're gonna jump into the workshop, start measuring some things up and start looking at how to make this cross brace. Got more wings? Got more wing stands? Part of my spoiler here. We've got the Sealy Mighty Mig ready to go. And yeah, basically what I need to do now, I need to start kind of figuring out how I'm gonna do this. Now, the first thing really I'd like to do, I wanna go ahead and basically get this as square as I can. I know that on the car, at the moment, as they wanna sit, they actually sit about 690 mil apart. So I want to brace these 690 mil apart, make sure they're completely square, and then actually fix them in place. What I'm actually gonna do is flap that one back to bare metal, and then I'm gonna get a cut at 690 and actually weld that in place, because that will then hold it straight and it will effectively eliminate that issue for me altogether. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll go ahead and start flat disking now. They're now both cleaned up. The dad hat working wonders for me with the glasses. So, I'm gonna cut a length of this at 690 now. Like I said, get this as square as I can. We're gonna tack that bar in place, and then once that's tacked in place, we'll measure everything again just to make sure that it's perfectly square, and then we'll start looking at how we can do this cross bracing. Lovely on the speaker. Mark 690 on it. That's my cut at 690. I'm gonna tack that tube in place and get that situated first. That's going on backwards, welding cap's going on. God. Like Ash from Pokemon. Right, let's do this. So that is now tacked in place. That way, so if you look, we're level. And then if we put it that way as well, if it's focusing, which it probably isn't. Hey, there you go, we're level as well. Now, we've got to tack it to the other one. It's now tacked together as one piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it over quickly. Again, we'll just double check absolutely everything just to make sure that it is square. Once I've confirmed that it's square, we'll go ahead and we'll start looking at how to get this cross brace in. Right, so things have progressed a little bit. Got a block of wood. I actually ended up, like I said initially, bolting it to the bottom, and then we're making sure that it's square here. So as you can see, it's all stood up now. Both sides of the bar are welded in, and if you look, that is perfectly level. So I'm now confident that that is perfectly square. We'll go ahead and weld out the brace. Well, one of many braces. We'll go ahead and weld out the first brace, just so that we know that that is going to be on there and that's going to hold everything true, and then we'll look at doing the rest of it. That's on. It certainly ain't pretty. But fuck it, dude, it's on there. What I need to do now is go ahead and look at doing the main event, which is the cross bracing. What I wanted to do was actually run a cross brace from the top half back down to the bottom half. Now that I've welded this tube on, I'm starting to think that actually the best way of doing this will probably be to run a brace from probably there down to there, or maybe more towards the front. I'll figure it out, I'll get back to you. So I've put my tube up against roughly where I'm going to want it. I think if anything else, that's going to be a good starting point. So that should be roughly my angle. I put a straight edge against that, down on there, and then basically just marked it. I'm gonna go ahead, cut that with the angle grinder now, get it roughly to where I want it, and then start looking at dealing with this cut. It's really not far off at all. There's a bit of a gap. I can probably take a bit out of that angle then, to be fair. I really want to try and tie it in with this corner here and basically brace it to the bottom of this bar. So if I get that as flush up against there as I can, and then do it to that one, that should be, I think that's probably going to be my best move. That is exactly where I need it to be, and at the bottom there, it's perfect as well. So we've got the angle we need on it now, so it's just trying to figure this bit out, and this is the bit that could get a bit interesting. I ain't got a clue what I'm doing on this bit at all, so let's try and figure it out though. Together we'll get through this. Update time. Bit of grinding away, and that's the outcome. So obviously it still needs to be cleaned up, but if you look, when it comes to it, that is going to slot in there like that. There is a bit of a gap, but I should be able to sort that out, and then that bit there sits flush. So if you get a view of the entire bar, it's going to be like that, and then it's going to be in the shape of a cross brace. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is the first time I've ever attempted to notch a tube in my life, so it's definitely not incredible, but for a first crack at it, I'm stoked. So that's the second one traced out roughly to where I need it, so that side's sorted, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to notch that now, and then we'll test fit that one as well. Looks alright. That one was so much quicker, it's unbelievable. This is the second one that we've cut out. So as you can see, if I just pop that in place quickly, there is actually perfect. I don't think you'd be getting much better than that. And then that side measures up perfectly as well. So I think what I'm actually going to do is the second one that I've cut, because that one seems to be the better cut anyways, I might actually just weld that one in and use that as like my base to go off. Seems like it makes more sense, if you know what I mean. We'll clean up the metal that we need to, and then we'll go ahead and get it tacked in place. And that's first bar tacked in place. So, as you can see, got one tack up there. I need to tack it on the other side as well, and then I've got a couple of tacks just holding it in there. This tube here is going to get cut, and it's going to be going across. That's just very crudely placed in. It's not actually going to look like that. We're going to cut it in the middle here so it can just go straight, and hopefully that'll look the absolute bollocks. If not, it's going in anyway, so hopefully it looks questionable. So, as you've probably seen in the time lapse, I prepared the other tube. I've just tacked it in place. So that's one half of your cross. Again, I've used my center point to measure it up with the center of the tube, and then you'll see you've got that little gap that side, and again you've got the exact same gap that side, so that's roughly 10 mil, and again that goes straight down to the center. So what we should be able to do now is get a measurement and a reference point off that one, mark it the same that side so we know the tube's going to land in the same place, and basically do the exact same we've just done for that, which again is just notch it, get it lined up in the center, then job's a good one. So I think I'm going to have a slice of pizza quickly and come back to this. I just burnt my arm out, and the angle grinder decided to like obliterate my finger. 80 grit sand disc on an angle grinder to the finger, it hurts, man. There you go. It is all tacked in place, and it looks quite spectacular actually. I'm quite happy with it. This is just the bit where I suppose I'll start welding it out. I have no idea how long this is going to take, so come along for the ride with me. Apologies guys, again, camera had a 25-minute timer on it, and when I looked up it was just off, so I don't actually know how much of that was captured. However, it's in one piece at the moment anyways. That's how it's looking, so I'm going to go ahead and get that mounted back on the car and basically test fit it and just go from there. Very crudely held up with a box in place. This just looks more ridiculous every time I look at it. This is going to be the bit that's going to get very, very interesting, but we'll have our fingers crossed, shall we? Right. Now the question is, yeah, I was waiting for that. I'll be back. Right. I've mounted it. So there you have it. That's the cross brace in and sorted. A few bits and pieces that we're going to need to address, but for the purpose of, I mean, previously when I rocked it and now I can't, yeah, That thing is absolutely sound. Probably gonna need to move my number plate as well, so I've just realised I cannot see that at all. That is where I'm gonna call it for the day. Now, if this is the type of content you want to see, and you want to see me get this big gay wing finished, let me know down below. Let me know what you'd like me to do next. Just, yeah, have a chat, whatever you fancy, mate. I'm here. Make sure you like the video as well. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Safe.